Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. We are back with a new Steel Division League cast today. We're in Division 2. We've got RM34 taking on Metalphase. An interesting little engagement this looks like. We're on the map Bobart, but we're playing two Axis divisions. We have Fallschirmpanzer Hermann Göring up against 12th Tartelek. And it's always interesting to see Tartelek in action. They are considered one of the weaker divisions in competitive 1v1, but I think they do get a lot of strong infantry, and infantry is currently doing very well in the meta, it seems. They do need the support equipment, so Metalphase may lack out a little bit there, but we'll have to see how this match progresses. You'll have to stay tuned to find out, of course. Let's have a look at RM34's deck. In terms of infantry, Metalphase is going to have 99 problems in front of him. Starting off with the HG Ersatztruppen in A, supported by Panzergrenz and Sturm Pioneers, which we don't often see, so nice to see some Sturm Pioneers in action. Tank-wise, RM34 is going to rely on lots of Panzer 4Gs, 4 in A phase, 8 in B phase, then those 2-star Tiger E's in B phase, and then he's going to switch to the Jagdpanzer 4s in the anti-tank tab, 8 of those in C phase. So he's got some really decent tanks at his disposal. He's definitely, got the world in his hands in terms of the tank game, because Tartelek cannot match those tanks in any way, really, in terms of their armoured vehicles. I think he does have the 2 Sturm Tigers in B phase. He's got 4 Flak 4188s in the anti-air tab, but I think this is where Metalphase could expose a weakness here. Those Flak 41s, they're 120 points. It's a minute's worth of income every single time he wants to bring one out. And he's going to be relying on the Flak 3820 mils if he doesn't bring those out. I think Tartelek could exploit that area, or Metalphase could exploit the kind of, I feel, a weakness in this deck. The ME410s fighters, they are heavy fighters. I think there's an opportunity. We'll see whether Metalphase does take that or not, but I think there is an opportunity to make some gains in the sky. Let's have a look at Metalphase's deck and see whether he can actually do that. He has 79 units of infantry. He is on Vanguard income. RM34 was on flatline income, so I imagine Metalphase is just going to go right from the start, try and get a bridgehead and just not let up. 79 units of infantry, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you're gambling on Vanguard, anything, it's going to be alright, because if he gets to C phase and he hasn't made the ground, then it doesn't matter how many units of infantry you've got in total, Vanguard is going to lose out due to the income. Tank tabs, we talked about the the game is underway. I best finish this off quick. Tank tabs, we talked about the strength of Fallschirmpanzer Hermann Göring. Just stuck 3 Gs in their way, which is slightly more than I thought Tartelek had. But yeah, stuck 3 Gs. They won't stand up to Jagdpanzers or Tigers. And he does have a fair few AT guns at his disposal, though. But I think Bobart, it's definitely an infantry map. Metalphase has the infantry advantage in... Or does he? I mean, he has some strong infantry, but Panzergrenz are strong as well. I think he does have the advantage. He's got those off maps. He's got a lot more artillery. He's got a lot of off maps at his disposal, and he could exploit the skies. We'll have to see which way this one goes. The game is underway. There's an off map already on the way from Metalphase down south with the 43M. Let's just reconfirm RM34 on the left hand side in red, playing the Fallschirmpanzer Hermann Göring on flatline income. Metalphase on the right hand side in blue, playing Tartelek on Vanguard income. And interesting, I mean, Tartelek, a lot of infantry here in kind of slow boat and truck transport, so not really a vanguard rush that I was expecting, and RM34 pretty much has everything in position here. This could really hurt Metalphase, but an early Focke-Wulf 190 G8 coming down to the southern position looks to hit those 2-star Panzergrenzer. Wow, 9 soldiers just completely wasted in one attacking run. The Focke-Wulf does now have to engage that ME410, but I think he's going to be able to make it back to his own lines. Yeah, the ME410 can't even cover here, and Metalphase is going for the engagement onto the back of that ME410. Will he be able to get the shot? Looks like he can. Tail damage and should be able to finish it off pretty heavily here. Ooh, bad turn by the AI there. May just let RM escape with that ME410, but he does not call it off. I think he's lost his opportunity. The Focke-Wulf should get it behind and should finish this plane off with the next burst, and that's going to be a big loss for RM. Wow, that Focke-Wulf, we're completely off the edge of the map here, and somehow, finally, the Focke-Wulf gets on target and does take that plane down. Look how far off the map we were. Wow. And Metalphase be very pleased with that, because RM had a difficult time anyway. He's just lost 85 points to that by bringing that plane in. Second off-map down, and also down goes the MG42 here. Metalphase does walk into a hell of a lot of Flammenwerfers, Valkyr, Pioneers with those Arkazok, but yeah, I think RM34 is going to win that engagement. 12-12 at the moment, and Metalphase does get some key kills early on, but doesn't really establish the kind of lead that you'd want with Vanguard from the very first minute of the game. There are some MG34s as well as a 40M on that hill. Looks like it's going to take down those Panzergrens, and this could be a nice little area to push through. We do have a Panzer IV-G and SPW233 further down in the south, but no armoured support from Metalphase right now. Just pure infantry, ground-based support weapons, and those Focke-Wulfs flying in the sky. I'm kind of surprised Metalphase hasn't pulled this back already, giving it time to reload and get it back into the action. Yep, there it goes. I was expecting that to be pulled back ASAP. The Lovas should take care of the Flammenwerfers as soon as, yeah, Metalphase does now give him the command to push forwards. A third off map down onto the southern side. Only 100mm, so we're not expecting kills with these off maps, but it really does give RM34 something to think about. The Arkazok did go down, and Langzorashok do come in to support further aggression in that forest, but I kind of think that might be a little bit of a mistake from Metalphase concentrating on this forest early, because there's no flag around here unless he pushes all the way through to this flag further back on the bridge. There's no real ground. Capturing this ground isn't going to give you a flag point advantage. He does cross the river further north and possibly highlights a weakness here for RM34. Lovas firing on Ersatztruppen over the open ground, but look at this ground captured by the Golly Zorashok. More infantry on their way, Lovas and Lovas Felderatok, as well as a 18mm mortar heading onto the field. An early SDKFZ 10-4, so actually, yes, the deck code must have been incorrect because that was not in the deck. So guys, the deck codes, sometimes when I pull a deck code from a previous patch, if things have changed in the balance of the game, if items have changed price, changed numbers, you change transports, that kind of thing, then often the deck codes get a little bit broken. So that's the reason for that. And what I was saying earlier about RM34 possibly having a weakness in the sky. Oh no, cancel that, guys, cancel that. The SDKFZ 10-4 does actually come in with the Flak 3820. Apologies, my apologies. I was mistaking that for a Flakvilling at first, so yes. Please ignore that. Please ignore that. And Metalphase has recaptured this heavy forest. The Panzergren Führers are trying to escape right now, but we do have some Panzer T-34 42s and some SPW-233s coming in. A hell of a lot of Ersatztruppen to try and reinforce. These T-34s do need to go down. There is a 40M firing at them. But I think the 40M is possibly going to lose out here. I think another double attack from these Panzer T-34s will destroy that 40M. Yeah, one more attack and that will go down now. Golosoroshok passing one of the center bridges there. Down goes the 40M. There's another one in there as well. Does take down the SPW though. In comes a Focke-Wulf targeting the infantry in front of those Golosoroshok. Metalphase has brought it to a 14-10. I think he wants a 15-9 though to really secure himself, and actually could make a lot of ground up north. There is just one Pak 3850 and that does not have HE shells on it. Does have AP shells to take out these H39s that are heading up there, but there goes the flag 15-9 to Metalphase, and he will be very happy with a 15-9. May have wanted it slightly earlier, but 7 minutes into this game, getting the 15-9 means he only has 15 minutes left to hold on to this game, and it looks like the Sturm Pioneer could go down to a Panzerschreck here. Don't think they quite aligned in time. Ooh! Ooh! The Panzerschreck does destroy the transport, and I think the explosion took out those Sturm Pioneers as well. The 80mm mortar raining down fire on top of the Ersatztruppen that have come in to reinforce. Metalphase does lose a flag down here on the south. The HG Sturm Pioneer pushing through that heavy forest and take out those units. Looks like Metalphase is going to capitalize into the north. An MG42 does come up into the north. I think it's all about this Pak 38 and whether it can take out those H39s, because if it doesn't do the job, then the H39s are going to take out that MG42, and will it even get there? Ooh, taken down in the transport. Big loss for RM34 there. Metalphase should be able to completely capitalise on this northern hill. More H39s coming in, more Golosoroshok going into that northern hill. The Pak 38 does spot something. Oh, he spots the H39s further back. Metalphase wants to go and take that out. If it goes down, RM34 is in a lot of trouble up on this northern side. Down on the south though, he has recovered some positions, and as I mentioned before, fighting over this ground here isn't really helping Metalphase too much now. But he has, well, I was about to say the 14-10. It's back to a 13-11. Almost into B phase, and from B phase onwards, Flatline will get the advantage. Look at these Lovas pushing across open ground, trying to take out the Panzer T-34 with the Panzerschreck. Sorry, Panzerfaust. Did not manage to on this occasion. That Panzer T-34-42 does back away. But the Lovas are just going to park themselves in that open field and just wait for that tank to eventually suppress them. There they go. More infantry going back into the north. Metalphase definitely attacking all across the front now, piling the pressure onto RM34. It's difficult to know who's going to win this out at this point. I think Metalphase definitely has taken the advantage, but remember, he was on Vanguard income, so he is supposed to take that advantage. A couple of bombers coming in, really heavily hurting those infantry in there, and we have an ME, ooh, misses the T-34. It's an ME-210. Not often we see that plane. The H-39s have gone down, or one of them has gone down up north to the Panzer T-34, but the Pak 38 did go down as well. I'd be very surprised if this H-39 took out the Panzer T-34-42. I doubt he can even fully penetrate at that range. And there is a second one coming up now. So yeah, that H-39 is toast. And with no adequate equipment to take out those T-34s up on that northern hill. I think RM34 is going to re-establish control. There is an ME210 here though, and that's really the only thing that Metalphase is going to have. And there is no counter to it on the field right now. The AA is too far south. So in comes the ME210. Doesn't manage to take out that T-34. Is now under fire from the flat gun. Oh, but we do have an off map. Just a single off map coming down to this southern side. And it's very nicely placed. RM34 has not been able to afford replacement equipment for this southern side, and that could really hurt. That off map just managing to escape in time as well. There is a Stuck 3G down on the south. That should take care of the WW2 and I can see if Metalphase pushes some infantry in to this southern area, he could take command of this southern hill, and it's off once the player on the blue side does take command of this hilltop. It's very difficult to push back into. It's going to give RM34 a big headache. Transport going down in the infantry there, second one as well with this 40M covering the bridge. The other two Ersatz-Truppen do unload, but they're going to get stressed out pretty quickly. They're in the open ground and not much, nowhere to really go. Big off map does come down into the southern side. The SPW does go down. There's a Stuck 3G heading forwards on fast move, as well as a 39M Sea Saber. Will the Begleitgrens of all units, will they be able to hold off this push? If they go down in the transport, there's going to be a lot of money lost in this push forwards. Are they going to unload? Yes, they do unload. Do not have any AT equipment on them though. And the 43M being pushed forwards there does go down immediately. Stuck 3G will have a pretty decent time as long as the Valkyr don't move forwards. Metalphase deciding to bat that one away. Doesn't want to risk it at this point. Sends it around for a flanking maneuver. And that's probably quite a good decision there. And it's 15-9 once again to Metalphase. He has 10 minutes 55 left on the clock to hold this 15-9. And he has a weak defense up top. I feel like RM34 can retake that northern hill, but he has lost troops over the river. There is opportunities for RM34 to get back here. 14 minutes into this game. 10 minutes left on the clock. Who's going to do it? And look at this HE-46E off-map plane flying over enemy territory. And the ME-410 does come across. No, RM34 hasn't spotted that off-map plane. And I think Metalphase got very lucky there not to lose that off-map plane. That is the second use of its artillery barrages. But yeah, I think Metalphase did get lucky there. Back to a 14-10. RM34 has found a hole in Metalphase's lines. We'll see whether Metalphase has time to plug that hole or whether he concentrates on this southern attack. This is interesting because although Metalphase does have a lead here, I think he has lost quite a lot of equipment. And I think if you look at what's actually on the ground, RM34 probably has a slight advantage here, and from this point onwards he does have the income advantage as well, so very interesting. The off map does come down. I didn't see the number of infantry that went down there, but there were a couple of squads of Begleitgrens in there, so perhaps some infantry did go down. And we've got Golly Sorashok coming in to reinforce the position. Metalphase back to a 15-9, less than 10 minutes on the clock. And if he re-establishes control of this position, he will have himself a 16-8. But there is a Golly Sorashok in here. With 13 men capturing a flag, the RM34 could fairly easily take command back from Metalphase. Another ME410 fighter coming in to the northern side. The Focke-Wulf does get forced back for now. And RM has been able to exploit the break in Metalphase's lines. It's 12-12. He's brought it back to a 12-12, and at this point, you've got to say Flatline Income has the advantage and should be able to push forwards from here. One of the T-34s does go down, the other one bailed out by the 40M nearby. There is a Langzorashok that is being pressed upon, should go down any moment. 14-10 to Metalphase again, from a 12-12 back to a 14-10. He really is concentrating on this southern side, and actually these infantry units down here are in a real tough spot. The off map doesn't come down again. I don't think he's used 3 uses of that HE off map. I'm kind of a bit surprised that he did call that unit back. I didn't see the off map come down. Stug 3G pushing forwards, and I think he could do with a couple of AT guns. Yeah, here they are, an AT gun and an MG34 coming in to resupply this hill with defensive weaponry. Really dig himself into this southern hill, make sure that these Panzer 4Gs cannot re-advance. But a Tiger in here, the 40M 75mm, should be able to take care of that actually. That is equivalent to a Pack 40, if I remember the unit type correctly. Should be able to take care of any Tiger coming in here, or a Jagdpanzer 4 coming down into the southern side. Should pick up this flag further north with the Loves and the Pioneers, HG Pioneer MP44 versions. Only 1 man remaining. That should go down, and actually that's going to give a swing of territory to Metalphase across this bridge. Oh no, it's just held by the Sturmtrooper in here. Sorry, Sturm Pioneer. What am I saying? Sturm Pioneer. Here comes another ME210. Looking to take out the T-34. There's only 1 down here, or up here on the northern side, and does go down. I think that went down to the Stug, actually. There is some artillery now on the field for Metalphase, some heavier artillery, 87.6mm. Down in the southern side, the support equipment is finally getting to the front line. Metalphase, I think up in the north, he's re-established control over his lines. I was very worried for him at the moment, and actually yeah, it's been a swing to Metalphase over the last sort of 5 minutes of gameplay. I feel like he's definitely traded well these last 5 minutes. He's established a very good zone of control over this southern hill and up on the northern side. It's just this central area that RM34 does have a weak hold of at the moment, but pushing through here is going to be difficult. The Stug 3G is in the area, and he also does have to gain back control of the north and the south. He's 15-9 down his RM34. There's 7 minutes 40 left on the clock, and it's going to be difficult for him to get back into this game, but it's not out of the realms of possibility right now. The ME210 does take down one of the half tracks, but in comes the JU and stuns up everything there. Actually, probably quite lucky that half track went down, because that could have rushed forward for the surrender. Instead, the SPW222 may do that job. The Focke-Wulf 190s come in, do take down that JU 87. And the ME210 does escape. The basically the Pack 40 that is in here now really is going to be difficult for RM34 to push back up onto this hill, and it's going to allow the Stug 3G to push a bit more aggressively and really support it. The SDK said 250/10 is going to come into range of that 40M any moment, and Metalphase definitely has a very good position up here right now. Yep, down it goes. And there is very little to defend in this southern side. Another or both off-map planes coming down now, but I think one may have used its charge up. Metalphase has lost a flag down here. More due to the lack of infantry unit in that area. Lovas is going to get hit by his own off-map unless he moves it back and then forwards again. But yep, the off-map planes kind of indicated to RM34 what was coming and immediately retreats his units, and they may actually be out of the zone of control by the time this off-map does come down. And Metalphase is going to push his own units in here. Ooh, this could be a bit of a mistake from Metalphase. Up on the northern side, we do see a Flak 41 here now. It's going to really start to help out against the air attacks that Metalphase has been throwing forwards. But there are infantry units heading up here, and they can actually do quite a lot of damage to those fixed artillery defensive emplacements. Oh, Sturm Tiger does come onto the field in the south, and actually that's a really good call to try and take out the fixed defensive positions Metalphase has set up. The off-map does come down in the centre. Luckily, he does unload his troops just in the nick of time, and he has moved his Lovas back out the way. I think possibly one unit has gone down here from RM34. Those are big off maps, big off maps. Back up to the northern side. But the Flak 41, SDKZ 10-4 and Flak 3820 do manage to cause that HE46E 2UN to fall back, and it does go down to a hit from one of those AA guns. So Metalphase does lose one of his air off-map units, but I think a large majority of the off-map barrages had been utilised. 13-11 to Metalphase right now. He has 10 minutes left on the clock. He is losing a flag back here, courtesy of having no units in position, so he should rectify that any moment. And that will actually give himself the 15-9, but he is losing this one up here as well. But another strike from those Focke-Wulfs does come in and decimate the units. I'm going to have to take a look at the payload of that Focke-Wulf. Ooh, and what's this back here? The HG Commandant, I think, is being discovered by the Golosorshok. And will it go down here? RM34 desperately trying to protect that Commandant. That could be a key unit lost. These are now 125 points. But RM34 surrenders the game. 24 minutes 7 seconds. Metalphase 2,700 kills to 1,700 losses. Congratulations, Metalphase. Commiserations, RM34. Looks like two Americans going at it from the icons of both players there. I feel like Metalphase definitely had the advantage there, but I think there were opportunities for RM34 to come back into that game. He was going to need to trade incredibly well, and it would have been tough, but I think he could have left it a little bit longer before surrendering. But Metalphase definitely had the advantage there, but there were moments in that game where I think he possibly lost that advantage. But in the end, came out on top, and that's all that matters to the end result, really, in the grand scheme of things. The Focke-Wulf 190 G8s, I think I said at the start of the game that RM could be a little bit weak to some air attacks, and this Focke-Wulf 190 G8 definitely did a lot of damage. I mean, losing Begleit Grenadiers, big squads, and Panzergrens as well. I think they're, you know, expensive squads, Begleitgrens, Panzergrens, compared to some of the Hungarian units. Another G8 here, taking down the MG42 and the Panzergren. Also some enemy planes as well going down there. 40M, courtesy of having the HE shells, did manage to take down another few units. I think that's right, unless they those units went down in the transports. up on the northern hill, that H39 did take care of the Pak 38 50mm, and that really opened up an opportunity for Metalphase. 40M seemed to do quite a good job here. Certainly this one down here did a very good job. Very good job. And Stuck 3G as well. I mean, that was outmatched by the Tigers and the Jagdpanzers, but we didn't see any Tigers or Jagdpanzers on the field. So Stuck 3G, for once, Tartlik actually had the better tank at the time, at least until that Sturm Tiger came onto the field. And the heavy off-map only takes down one Begleit Grenadier. In terms of the off-maps, this one here as well took down an SBW233 and a Begleit Gren. But I guess in overall control, they do give a hell of a lot of control. But in terms of like damage, not so much. But they are very important units right now in the 1v1 meta, because they work well at suppressing and really countering big clumps of infantry units. And in the game play that we're in and the flag system that we have, it's very important to do that. There we have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this cast. This was Division 2 Metalphase versus RM34. If you did enjoy it, remember, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you again in the future.